what you want to do.
Okay, we on. What's up? What's up? This is the Boss Ladies Live Radio Show. Spreaker Studios, sponsored by Boss Ladies Inc. Pre-recorded show just to give a quick special. Yeah. Let's get this thing started, y'all. And we got Miss Bobby, BJ Buchanan in the building. The topic we gonna cover, we might have a cancellation with Rhonda. I don't know what's going on. She said she'd be here at 9, so we gonna see about that. We're gonna be talking about rebuilding families and communities through writing. I know there's a lot of writers out here, and welcome everybody to the show that hears this once it's posted. And shout out to all the writers, from music to artistry to novels, poems, whatever you seem to write. My books too, novels. My mom has been a writer for the last, I'll say, 40 years. And I grew up, just reading her poems and her short stories, and I thought they were pretty good. And she ended up getting sick, so she couldn't do it no more. So let's welcome Miss BJ to the show. We're going to just interview her on that. So, Miss Bobby, how do you feel about, rebuilding families and communities through writing these days, like especially in the inner city? Like, what would you tell young people how to get started? Things like that. How would they get involved? What some of the things you could share with us that you did to get it going off the ground or whatever?
You talking about poetry?
Anything. It could be any type of writing.
Well, first of all, I think that poetry is like my passion. So I feel like that's the one thing that would grab people, because poems are something that people can relate to. Some people relate to it because they rhyme, like Dr. Seuss books. Some people relate to them because they touch a feeling, or they represent a community, or they represent a situation. But poetry brings us back, and it goes in the deepest core of who we are, and brings us to a place that we've forgotten about. Mm-hmm. And the reason why it's so important for the Black community to come together through writing is because words have power. Words have always had power.
Yes, ma'am. We
have built our community of Black people, our ghettos, our communities, our suburban areas have been all based on words, by governors, by presidents, by mayors, by administrators, by everybody. Words have a lot of power, and the Bible says that the tongue has life and death in it, and through the tongue we can build a life or we can destroy a life.
Absolutely.
But in order for us to build a community through words, we need to be mindful of what we say to people. Not just through writing, but through verbal speech as well, through dialogue. And sometimes we can communicate or touch a heart or change a community or change a life just by a book, by a poem we've read, by something that we've gone through in our lifetime. And changing a life, and in order for us to change a community, we have to first change a life. We got to be able to reach at least 3 to 5 people that will talk to at least 3 to 5 people. And those people will talk to at least 3 to 5 people. Mm-hmm. Because like I said, words have power. And when they're words that touch you, it's just like a fire. It starts to spread. It's like a cancer. We don't want to become so metastasized with drama and with anger and bitterness that we do not take out the time to become metastasized with love and the power of it through our words, through our conversation. Everything that we do is about words. The way we walk tells people the story of our lives, the way we carry ourselves as men and women. That particular walk, that particular demeanor, it speaks to other people through words. This is what you're saying to me, by how you look to me, by how you come down the street. Everything we do has meaning. Even if it's positive and even if it's negative, it all has meaning. Because words have power.
Mm-hmm. That's very, very true. Once we get that down pat, I think we can do that in our everyday lives. Not just putting it on pen and paper. I think it's a really it's a transformational thing. When I was reading some poems, I know my sister Amanda, she writes poems. Shout out to her. And she really writes from her heart. She just ain't trying to copy and be like, it's a more creativity type of thing. So yeah, check out tonight at 9:00. Supposed to be having Rhonda in the building. She'll be in the chat room. Not doing a Facebook Live in particular. So we will be going over some stuff because I know she's a writer and things like that. But I just wanted to, get everybody prepared for tonight because, writing is not something we talk about a lot, but we write every single day,
I agree. But we also need to remember that people's lives the times are changing. And because the times are changing, people are going through things that they never went through before. This is a time that we've never seen before. I've never seen a generation like this when I was growing up because I'm almost 60 years old. So the time that I grew up as young adults like you guys and middle age like some of us, it's different from the way that it is now. Mm-hmm. Because they couldn't speak to us a lot with their education because a lot of people weren't educated as they are today. They were educated through life experiences. Yeah. And sometimes that made them more smarter and more in tune with people because they had gone through. So they knew how to change a life just by the expressions, the sayings that they would use. They used to say stuff like, why buy the milk when you can get the cow for free? What's the purpose of a man marrying you if he can sleep with you and ain't got to marry you first? That's what that meant. They used to tell us that little pitchers have big ears. Little kids don't always be asleep when you be running your mouth.
Right.
They used to tell us that all goodbyes ain't gone and all shut eyes ain't sleep. Sometimes you can say goodbye to somebody and they still right there at the door ear hustling. Sometimes you'll think that your kid's asleep and they still be laying in the bed in the dark, eyes wide open, and they laughing and kikiing with you. Mm-hmm. That's what I mean about words have power. Not only can words uplift the life and rebuild the life, but words can tear down the life. They can be like a demolishment of a building. You can say 2 or 3 words to a female, to a man, and it can destroy them for the rest of their life. Mm-hmm. You have to be careful of what you say. And people just say anything now. Anything that comes out of their mouth, they just say it. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not here to judge. And by no means, I've had flaws in my own life. I've said things to people that I shouldn't have said. But at the time, I was young. And I didn't know that my words had enough power to destroy someone's life.
Oh, yeah.
I realize now that I'm older that I could be on the phone talking to somebody that's got a rope around their neck. And I could say one word that'll make them kick the chair out from under them and they gone.
Yeah.
And then I have to live with the blood of their life on my hands because I didn't care about what I said. Because words have power.
Yes, it does.
That means something when you put your arms around somebody and tell them that you love them. Or put your arms around somebody and tell them that you were thinking about them. Or put your arms around them and tell them that you were missing them. That has power in a person's life. You can change somebody's whole life by walking up to them on the street and not even knowing them. They just say, hi, how are you? And they say, oh, I'm doing well, and how are you doing? Oh, I'm well, thank you. That means a lot. Because you could have been the only person that said that to them. Because of that one little hello, their whole day could have been good. Then you could walk up to somebody and say, I don't know what the hell she was thinking about putting that on. And that could destroy her whole day. Mm-hmm. Because we got to remember, just because your life is going a certain kind of way and you might get it, that don't mean that the person you're speaking to is getting it. Mm-hmm. And everybody that's got it, that understands what their niche is in life, they know what I'm talking about. Some people die not getting it. Some of us get it and refuse to share how we got it, and then other people are still lost. Mm-hmm. That's why words have power. Because once I learn how to do something, And I don't share it with my community. That I'm just like a cancer. I'm decaying my own community. My own community has now become a rotten tooth because I refuse to give them the cure for what cured me.
Right.
So I don't need to keep my words in a closet or in a box and simply share once I'm dead and gone and I close my eyes for the last time. Because my verbal conversation, my volume that you can hear is what people are going to remember. Mm-hmm. And if I have enough words where I can change a life or a community, I need to put it in a book. And I need to make it readable. And I need to make it have depth. And I need people to understand this is where I'm coming from. Mm-hmm. You need to know. You don't need me to leave you money when I die. You need me to leave you my struggle. So that when you read about my struggle and you comprehend my struggle, you can say to me, you can say to that book or that person, I went through that too.
Yeah.
And words mean something when people know that they're not alone. When I'm sitting in a room and I got my legs wrapped up in my arms and the man that I thought loved me is gone and my life is all freaked out because I got kids to raise. I got this emotional stuff I'm going through because the man I loved is gone. And then somebody calls me on the phone and says, girl, I've been through the same thing and let me tell you what I did. That's words. That means something when I can call you on the phone and say, just let me help you through the night.
Yeah.
That means something. Mm-hmm. Just let me hold your hand. You ain't got to talk. You ain't got to express an opinion. Just let me hold your hand while you scream. Let me hold your hand while you cry. Let me hold your hand while you just say you don't even understand. When you got that flesh, that human flesh, touching your flesh, telling you that I feel you. I know where you've been. I've been there, done that. Got a t-shirt. That means something. Mm-hmm. Like Whitney Houston said in her song, it means something when you can look back on your life and know that for a moment in time, you were loved.
That's right.
And you got to remember to tell somebody that they're loved. You got to tell your kids that you love them. You got to validate them. You got to love them every day. And women that are out there that are married and your husbands may not be all that romantic and all the rest of that, don't worry about that. If you come home from work and you got a bad back and your husband massages your back, those are your flowers. If your husband tell you, put your feet in my lap and I rub your feet, that's your box of candy. Mm-hmm. If your husband wrap his arms around you and tell you, baby, I can't do nothing else but hold you, that's the dinner that you was looking for him to take you out. If he says, just talk to me and I will talk to you, that's that love story movie that you wanted to go see. Mm-hmm. Stop looking for material things because all men can't do that. Some men, all they can do is be a sounding board. Some men really don't know. They honestly don't know what's wrong. And don't expect them to because you're married to them. I was married. Marriage didn't last because I felt like my husband should have understood everything I was going through. But I was mute. So how was he supposed to know? If you mute your TV and you watch a movie that you've seen before, you still ain't going to be able to hear what they say until you turn off the mute button. Ladies, turn the mute button off. His words have power just like your words have power. Listen to your husband. If he's not, or your boyfriend, or your significant other, or whatever kind of relationship you're in, if they're not responding, if they're still with you, and they're not saying the words that you want to hear, or they're not acting the way they want to act, that means that your book is not approachable to them. It's not pleasing to the eye. Change the conversation in your house, and you can change a life. You can change a family. You can change a community. I came home one day, I cut my TV off. I turned jazz on. I made all my kids sit down, and we just chilled. And I did it for 2 weeks straight. And then all of a sudden, my kids, one day I didn't do it because I didn't feel good. My kids came in my room and said, Mom, what's wrong with you? We don't get our jazz music today. Today, Wednesday, we wanted to chill, and you ain't even chilling with us. I got up out that bed, painful as I was, Lord Jesus. And I turned that jazz on, and I got up in a chair, And I sat there and that jazz rocked me to sleep. And when